Alright, today we're on page 101 in our notebook, and we're going to be talking about circumference again. So go ahead and pause your video so that you can set up your notebook. This is your warm-up, so what I want you to do is label the following. So I want you to use these words right here, your vocabulary, circumference, diameter, and radius, and I want you to place it in the circle. And so I'll help you a little bit, but not too much. I'll go ahead and draw these lines here. So you need to label what that line represents, label what this line represents, and then label what the outside represents. So go ahead and pause your video so that you can do your warm-up. Your learning goal says I will be able to use the following terms and symbols to describe circles. So I'm going to be talking about diameter, radius, circumference, and pi. And then describe pi as the ratio of the circumference of a circle to its diameter. And your language goal says complete the sentence in writing. I found that blank, and you're going to be using the words circumference and diameter in your answer. Alright, let's go ahead and take out this sheet right here. And so this is a half sheet that's located inside of your notebook. And let's get out the we do problem number 1. So what is the circumference of the circle shown? So I know that circumference is the whole outside of my circle. The outside of this circle here, and I want to find that. Remember that there's two formulas that I can use. I can either use C is equal to pi times diameter, or I can use C is equal to 2 times pi times my radius. Okay, so what I want to first do is I need to find out what my diameter is. So I want to find out what this is. But in order for me to find out what that is, I have to look at my coordinates here. So I'm looking down, and I need to find out what number goes here. Well, it's between 0 and 16, and I know that if you cut 16 in half, that 16 and half is 8. So it's 8 right there. But I also need to find out what this side over here is. Well, that side's 80. So I need to find the difference between these two numbers. So I'm going to take 80 minus 8. And I get 72. So what I know right now is that my diameter is 72. So what I need to do is I need to find my answer. So if I use the diameter, then let's go ahead and use the formula that has diameter in it. So let's use C is equal to pi times diameter. So I have 3 boxes at the bottom. It says answers in terms of pi, your estimated answer, and your actual answer. And so what I want to first do is answer in terms of pi. So when I say answer in terms of pi, what that means is my answer is going to have the pi symbol in it. It's not going to have the actual answer, it's just going to have the pi symbol. So let's go ahead and start writing here. So if I'm using this formula, C is equal to pi times diameter. When it says answer in terms of pi, I want to leave that pi just where it is. And I want to put that diameter in there, which is 72. And the correct way to write this would be C is equal to 72 times pi. And that would be my final answer. Anytime it says answer in terms of pi, I want to leave the pi symbol in my answer. So I don't want to multiply anything, I just want to leave the pi there. Alright, now I need to estimate my answer. In order for me to estimate my answer, let's still write our formula. C is equal to pi times diameter. When I say estimate, I want to use pi for 3. I'm going to say that pi is approximately 3. It's really close. It's 3.14, but it's when you round it, it rounds to 3. So for pi, I'm going to put 3. And for my diameter, I'm still going to put 72. So I know what I have to do with these two numbers. Since they're both in parentheses, I need to multiply those. So let's do 72 times 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 7 is 21. So I get my circumference is approximately 216. Notice how I did not use an equal sign because it's not exact. I used 3 instead of 3.14. So you need those squiggly lines for approximately. So now that we've estimated our answer, I need to now find my actual answer. So I still want to use the same formula. C is equal to pi times diameter. Except this time I'm going to use my pi is equal to 3.14. I want to use that in here. So 3.14 times my diameter, which is 72. All I have to do is multiply these and I would get my final answer. So 3.14 times 72. I know that 2 times 4 is 8, 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 3 is 6. I want to go ahead and cross out that 2 since I've already used it and put a placeholder. 7 times 4 is 28, 7 times 1 is 7, and 7 plus 2 is 9, and 7 times 3 is 21. So I need to go ahead and add these up. So I get 8, 8 plus 2 is 10, 9 plus 6 is 15, and 15 plus 1 is 16, and 1 plus 1 is 2, and I bring down this 2. I need to figure out where my decimal goes. I know there's 2 places behind this decimal, and there's no places here, so I need to move over my decimal 2 places, 1 and 2. So my answer here is C is equal to 226.08. So what I have here is I have my answers in terms of pi, where I left the pi symbol in my answer. I have my estimated answer where I used pi was approximately 3. And then I have the actual answer, which is what we did on Friday, and I have 226.08, and I used the 3.14 in there. So what I want you to do is I want you to go to your practice page, and I want you to do the you do. Or I'm sorry, it's right next to your example. Go ahead and do the you do problem A. It says, what is the circumference of the circle shown? And it gives you a diameter of 18. So I want you to go ahead and do the answers in terms of pi, your estimated answer, and your actual answer. So you need to refer back to this we do problem number 1 in order for you to do that. Alright, let's look at we do problem number 2, which is on the back of your notes page. And so this gives us a table, and it says complete the given table using what you know about circles. So there's a couple of things that I know about circles. I know that my diameter is equal to 2 times my radius. I know that my radius is equal to 1/2 of my diameter. And then I also know my 2 formulas, which is C is equal to pi times diameter, and C is equal to 2 pi r. So those are the things that I know about my circles. So now that I know that and I've written that down, I can now move on to my table. So let's look here. It gives me a diameter of 20, and it wants you to find your radius. Okay, well my radius, I know in order for me to find my radius from diameter, I've got to look up here where it says diameter is 2 times the radius, and then I have radius is 1/2 of my diameter. Okay, well if radius is 1/2 of my diameter, I know that I have to divide by 2. 20 divided by 2 gives you 10, so I know my radius is 10. And it wants you to find your circumference. In order for me to find my circumference, I would go ahead and use this first formula here, which is C is equal to pi times diameter. And so what I want to do is I want to use, or plug into my formula rather. So I know that pi is equal to 3.14, and I know my diameter is 20. And all I have to do is multiply these. So I have 3.14 times 20. 0 times all of those numbers is going to give me 0. I need a placeholder. 2 times 4 is 8, 2 times 1 is 2, and 2 times 3 is 6. I got to add these up. I get 0, 8, 2, and 6, and I need to move over my decimal 2 times. So I get 62.80. So my circumference here is 62.80. Now let's look at the next one. The next one gives me a radius of 4.5. Okay, and I need to find the diameter. Well, I know that diameter is 2 times my radius, so I can multiply by 2 to get this answer. Well, 4.5 times 2, 2 times 5 is 10, 2 times 4 is 8, and 8 plus 1 is 9, and I need to move over my decimal 1 place, so it's 9.0, or just 9. I also need to find my circumference. So I need to find this here, circumference. So I still want to use C is equal to pi times diameter. You can use the other formula, C is equal to 2 pi r, but I think it's easier just to multiply two numbers rather than three, so I'm still going to use the pi times diameter. So all I have to do is fill in my formula, 3.14 times my diameter, which was 9, and I just have to multiply these. So I have 3.14 times 9. 9 times 4 is 36, 9 times 1 is 9, and 9 plus 3 is 12. 9 times 3 is 27, and 27 plus that 1 is going to be 28. And I need to move over my decimal 2 places. So 1 and 2. My answer is 28.26. So my circumference here is 28.26. Okay, so now we have our last one here, and this is the one where it gets a little bit tricky. So I have a circumference of 31.4, and I need to find my radius and my diameter. So let's find diameter first. So in order for me to do that, I need to go ahead and write this in my formula. I need to go ahead and write down the formula. So I have C is equal to, and again, I'm still going to use the pi times diameter. But instead of plugging in diameter, because I don't know that, I need to find that, I have to plug in my circumference into C. So C stands for circumference, and that's what it gives me. So I need to put this in here. 31.4 is equal to pi times diameter. So let's go ahead and continue to fill in our formula. 31.4 is equal to, well, pi is equal to 3.14, and then times our diameter. So this is now a one-step equation. And so I know right now 3.14 is being multiplied by my diameter. So the opposite multiplication will be to divide. So 3.14 divided by 3.14. And I've got to do the same thing on both sides. I know that these cancel each other out, and I have to bring down the d. So d is equal to, or my diameter is equal to, 31.4 divided by 3.14. So let's go ahead and do that off to the side. 31.4 divided by 3.14. Well, I cannot divide by a decimal, so I need to move over my decimal 2 places, 1 and 2. If I do that on the outside, I have to do that on the inside as well, 1 and 2. And I've got to add a 0 here. So I have 314 going into 3,140. Okay, well, I know 314 doesn't go into 3. I know 314 doesn't go into 31. 314 goes into 314 one time. 4 minus 4 is 0, 1 minus 1 is 0, and 3 minus 3 is 0. But I've got to bring down this 0 here. Don't forget that 0. 314 goes into 0 times. So I have my diameter is equal to 10. So what I need to do is I need to place that where it goes in my diameter here. I found 10 as my diameter, but now I have to find my radius. In order for me to find my radius, remember that your radius is half of your diameter. So if I cut 10 in half, or I divide by 2, 10 divided by 2 gives me 5. So if you will go ahead and glue these notes into your notebook, that's a front and a back, so you're going to need to put a tab so that you can be able to see both sides. You also need to do the You Do problem B, and then I will come around to check it for you. And once you're finished with that, I want you to go to your practice page. It's 4 problems, so get those done and turn that in on your way out today. And make sure that both pages of your notes are glued in.